Welcome back, guys. We're here again, second week of September. We're going to go through the week, how we done from the trade from last week as well. We're looking a lot different from where we were before. Let's start off with what happened this week. I caught the win from GU that went into this week, got taken out on Monday in profit, and then caught an EU sell as well. That won, so completely different now. We've got phase 1 into phase 2, which we can see from the achievements. Got phase 1 completed there, so we're now on 2 phase 2s on alpha. This account was down last week 9.1%. It's now down 1.9. We've got the swing phase 1. I haven't started that yet. We've got another phase 2 at 0. Haven't traded that yet. And then funded claw back from 2.3% down. Now got a percent. Payout date today. So at alpha, there's so much going on. You can see here through payout, I've requested a payout this morning. So $800, it's pretty good. It's about £610. I'll take it because I was down in drawdown for like 2 months. So very happy with that. FTMO actually managed to pass phase 2. I was down 6% on that. Like, it goes to show that 2 trades, especially when I'm risking like 1.5%, it can completely change where you're at. This was down nearly 7%. I'm now at 3% profit on phase 1. So phase 2's been passed. I'm yet to receive credentials for the funded account. I'm just going through some verification with contracts and stuff. That should be here by next week. So really, now 200k funded, 200k towards that goal. By the end of the year, I'm probably looking at $500,000 now because I'm on 2 phase 2s. I need roughly around 2 more winners, probably be 400k. And just acquired a Fivers account. So really what I do at the minute is that overall I am in a net negative in terms of the money I've put into challenges versus what I've actually received in payouts. The reason why I'm pushing this is because I don't want to be sitting here doing challenges for like 2 years, 3 years. When I started doing these challenges in May, end of April into May, my goal was to just try and get as much funded as I can before the end of the year. Obviously on that path to getting a mil funded will be probably going into next year, but going to give Fivers a go. Heard very good reviews. They're probably the best rated and the longest prop firm that have been around. You can't actually get more than 100k originally. You can get growth through making profit on the funded. So we're in a pretty good position now. Feel very grateful that I've been able to do that, and it's all down to me. It's all down to making mistakes in July, rectifying them in August, not repeating them, not taking extra losses. There wasn't any wins for me to catch. First week of September, volume comes in, bang, 2 trades, 2 wins, 6.5, over 6.5 our profit for September. So hopefully can make 10R this month. And you know me, like, I'm not about catching 100R in a week or trying to get the biggest amount of R possible. I'm really trying to keep at the minute small and consistent. And if I can make 10R a month regularly, then I'm going to be in a very, very good position financially, to the point where I won't have to work. I think in a minute, I'm just enjoying my life, and getting these small payouts will help me progress into more challenges. And hopefully by next year, can actually start reaping the rewards of getting bigger payouts in the thousands. So really the 4-figure payouts the next goal, and I'll only need about 3 or 4R for that. Once the profit split's been changed over and you convert that to pounds. But yeah, let's see how we managed to do this then, because it's all happened very quickly, of course. And last week was a very good discussion on the higher time frames, on the monthly and the weekly, where we were kind of sitting. We're always going to start with DXY going into this week. We're going to mark in here our key levels, which is at 101 and 100. And you'll see why these key levels are so important, especially the 101. Really looking at DXY then is that on the weekly time frame, there isn't too much to see that maybe this candle has closed strong. It's closed back below 101. But there's clearly an issue at this 100.20 level. If we look left, I'm pretty sure we're still holding an area within this area here. Yeah, this is the one. So we do have a fair value gap all the way to the left here. Oh, that's not even being respected. That's been broken. It must be the daily. Must be a daily time frame. That's the one here. So yeah, ignore me on that. This was obviously cleared through, but you've got a fairly big candle and a fairly big wick. You have to use initiative that with it like being in this area. So I can't get too much from the weekly, but the daily gives you a lot more sense. What you can see here is that we're seeing simple structure. We're seeing breaks of lows, creating lower highs, continuing down. Of course, then we create a lower high. We make a low. We form one very low there. It's very low. We break out, try and grab liquidity. We come down and fail at the lows again. Therefore, on the daily, I think the previous weekly high is a liquidity point, and I would say that really I prefer the most. And obviously, it's nice having fair value gaps, order blocks, and that. I'm at my best, I would say, and I'm at my most confident when liquidity is being played and I can take moves off that. So if we see here that if we go onto the daily to the left, this is the area I was trying to mark in. It's just fair value gap to the left. Come into it before, over in July last year, come over it in the end of last year, and now we're seeing multiple 4 or 5 candles fail. What we also have is a newly formed order block. It's not the best one, but it's more recent, and we're bouncing off that as well. So my analysis for the week here is I know we've tapped 101. I'm expecting this high to go. Once we get closures above 101, I'm expecting this high to take. Then I'm not as worried if we try and come down, if we come into this daily area and come down. But my analysis is, I spoke about this last week, I'm looking at 103. I'm looking at that as a short-term pullback. I expect there's a lot of liquidity over here. You can kind of just see that sitting in this area as a guide. Really expecting price to come up to that before we see the downside if we are going to come down. So very bullish on DXY. And if we look on EU then going into this week, same could be said, but for the opposite. Like I understand, yep, we've closed bullish on the weekly. And this is where sometimes you can't always use your weekly as clarity. But what I can see is that at the very least, we've closed with a 36 pip body. We've rejected the upside here. 70 pip wick is quite significant. Again, though, if you're not getting much off the weekly, what we can understand is that we want to see a pullback. You've got a fair value gap here. So that hasn't been tapped yet. If we're going to pull back, if we're going to actually see us come up, we want to fail somewhere within the weekly, I'd say, to the downside. But we haven't even come down yet. So there's still room to come down. On the daily, it's just so much more clearer. So really have a look on the higher time frames. Is that, what is it? Is it the daily that's making more sense? Is it the weekly? And just base it off that. We've got a really nice change of structure here. It's really clear that we've come into this fair value and we've rejected. So we were very bullish. We were trending up. We've taken out this higher low, failed to take a new high, come down, took even that low there that broke that wick. That continued up. We've now held below that, filled imbalance and rejected off it. Therefore, that's a key liquidity point, I would say. We're creating a magnet now. I'd say we're magnetizing towards that liquidity point, because until we see that taken out, in my opinion, we're not going to go bullish. So I'm not looking for buyers in any way, shape or form. If we look below that, we can see like maybe we'll fail after we take that low out, but really I'm looking for plays to that low. That's my weekly analysis. Once that happens, I don't really care what happens. Like, it can do anything, but my whole idea and my ability to take a trade is mostly based on the daily for this low to get taken out. Same again, compared to the XY, it's looking identical. We've got that low to take out. We don't really need to mark up too much else. We've got the previous weekly high sitting up here as well, which is here, which was made on Friday. So it's a good sign that because Friday made the previous weekly high, we've got clarity on the daily now to come down. It's just looking really good. Same for GU. GU's even better, really, because you could see the trade that I was in last week where we had this unmitigated wick and an entry based off that we were looking for downside. Let's mark this in. We had a 30 pip stop, so you could see, just trying to get it exact. We got tagged in on Friday. We're targeting the low, and of course I think there is room to come down further, but it's harder. When I'm in challenges at the minute, I'm trying to get through past challenges, get back out of drawdown. It's harder to hold trades. I'm expecting GU to come much further down than this. What the weekly does show is a lot more clarity, because once again, last week wicked up into this huge order block and failed at it. So that's 3 rejections to that area. 3 rejections. So clear as day that we want to come down. Yep, you could say that we come into this fair value, but it depends how you would value that. Like, it's too high. This is the area I'm interested in at the minimum. As a fair value gap, this lower area, of course, we used the fib last week to show that. We can see that we're very high. Why would we want to be going up from this point here when we've got much better buy options underneath in the discount here to get back up if we're going to continue with the overall trend? So we do have a lot of room. Based on this, same idea. Previous weekly high is from Friday. We're looking to take out the low from last week. Until that happens, we're not really going to go up. And yeah, it's just obvious. I think it's clear as day. So Monday's an option for trades. Set up for buys, set up for sells in EU. If we're going to look at how that looked, it was pretty rough because of what happened with the news here. I did not get an entry on this day. I think we were looking at this leg and we straight up just marked in this wick. So we were looking for a play from this area to target the low, covering this area here. So that was really the play we had marked in for EU there. Obviously didn't come in. So what Monday did on EU is we didn't manage to catch that trade, which is fine. We saw that we now start to come into that low. Did we take that low out? No. So we're not quite yet ready to come up, in my opinion. On GU, you can see setting up for a sell also on Monday. And it's really just as simple as that. Like, the rules I set within there being like a 1 hour leg is just based on us breaking the bullish structure there. So we did that. Going into the day, I had the same idea off the wick and looking to get in, because this was a bit of a shorter move, was looking to get in off half of it to be able to get a good enough R. And yeah, once again, just didn't come in. TP got hit 4.3 R, so it's a pretty good move. I was happy with that because I had pretty much 4 R drawdown on what I was in. That clawed back a lot. And the only reason why that's helped me is because I didn't take too many trades and lost more trades that could have easily been done in August. So many small decisions allowed me to keep that out for phase 2 because I dropped my risk in August. I saved myself from extra losses and that would have been blown otherwise. So very grateful that that did end up playing out. But it just made 100% sense. Like, there was no way that wasn't going to play out. I had so much confidence. You could see that last week. There was so much ability for us to see the downside continue that it was solid. So based on Monday's close, DXY did come up. We're closing below 101. More confirmations to come up. EU coming into Tuesday. If we see that close, we closed strong down. Still got a low to test. So in my opinion, if this is a magnet for price and we're trending down, we should hold whatever we form within here. So if we go into Tuesday, it's a little bit clearer on the 30 minute. What I see here is we did this late in the day. So when you're looking at, are you going to start to induce price? I would look and I would say, okay, you may favor a position up here, but realistically, are you actually going to get a pullback into this area? When I looked at the day, there was 0 news for USD, 0 news for the Euro. That's all coming in today on the Thursday. So looking at that, I don't think there's going to be major volume. I don't think there's going to be huge liquidity sweeps. We could see we took this high out and made a new low. So I would say this leg is all right, to be fair. I would say this leg is pretty good for us to be looking for a trade. And yes, it's a small one. So I'm already in the know about this is going to be about a 2-hour trade. It's catching the scraps of the move that I didn't get on Monday. I have been a bit unsure about these certain positions that we are quite low, but the realization is that even here within the new day, we took out and made a new leg. That leg got taken out. So I was happy with this high as a strong high that should get respected, and we should come down and take the low without getting stopped out. Because of that, I also looked on the 30, and you see that wick took out the high and it made the low. I've got that as an inducement point. I was liking the idea that if we're going to see the sell, I want to see that high get taken out. And then we marked up this fair value gap, and we noticed that we did not come into 50%. So I was looking at a potential sell based on a half, looking at stops going above here. I actually went for a 9 pip stop. Give it a little bit of room, because obviously the stop's small. It's about 2.2R. So really not looking at GU for the day, expecting DXY to come and take the high. Still haven't seen that on EU. So you can see there GU's just at a low now. So I'm not going to sell this because I don't know when the pullback's going to happen. I'd rather see us come up and then sell somewhere over in here. But EU, I still believe price has direction to come down. You can kind of get the reasons why I've took this trade then. Coming into the session, got entered in here. Obviously come into the order block, pretty nice. We actually broke through that gap, so that invalidated that, but the whole idea of that being induced was right. And then you can just see there, it ran smoothly for the day in the end. Played about near my TP for a while, but trust the analysis. If your liquidity point is a good target, it should get taken out. And there it did. So you can see that was a pretty good move, and finalised the week there. Because now my whole analysis is played out on the dollar pairs. What else is there to do, really? You've caught an amazing 2 trades in the last couple of days. Why am I going to give my profit back to the market? I can secure a payout. Got onto phase 2s, got a funded account on the way. So really just now watching the rest of the week. You can see that's why I've done this video now today on Thursday. We did not see that high get taken out. And even coming into Wednesday, DXY, it's just tested 101. This is why the key levels are so key. We failed at it on Friday. We saw the weekly unable to break it, but we now again are seeing price hold above it. And today I expect there to be, with the news events, we're going to see us come up and take that high out. That's the idea. And on EU coming into yesterday, well, we're very low. We're past the low. So sells here are risky. What you can see though is we did form this. And if you are confident of continued downside, you come into that fair value and sold off, which on the 1 hour and 30 minute, we pretty much took out this high. So this is the leg that we formed of our position for where we got in. That got swept and then we continued the move down. So it was a pretty good move actually, to be fair. You could have got entries there again. But like at this point now, we're very low. I don't really see the need to try and catch a sell. I still think there's pullbacks available. Of course, GU, we saw yesterday, Tuesday, create this fair value in here, very small. And you can't say that these aren't effective the way that we run into them and reject. This was actually a pretty solid option. Similar thing happened there, come into it, rejected. We had positive CPI come in the monthly. I think about 0.1 better than expected. Going to see further continued downside on GU. Aligns with the fundamentals. Aligns with the whole idea that we're looking to see a continued pullback. And just was a solid option for the week. It was just obvious the week was unlikely to make a big wick. We did that on the previous 2 weeks. So now we've really gathered all the liquidity we need to see us continue down. So that's where we're sitting today. That's really it for the week. Simple 1 move this week, 1 move last week, and 2 wins, 0 losses for the month. Very, very pleased. It really doesn't take much. These traders that are trying to trade and take 5 trades to 10 trades in a week, you might get 5 trades in a week, but you're not going to get 5 trades every week. And why do you need 5 trades every single week? I don't really understand it. Why risk 0.2% on 10 trades a week when you could just risk 1% or 0.5% on the solid option that you're the most confident on? The quantity really doesn't matter. The quality does. And there we go. Look, this was by no means easy. I took this account from, I think it was the end of May, start of June. So yeah, you're seeing me pass this account. It took me 3.5 months. 3.5 months to pass funded challenge. Not many people have the patience for that. And that's why, like, I truly think what sets me apart from a non-profitable trader, if I was to call myself one, a profitable trader at this point, is just the fact I'm patient. I take limited setups. That's it. They're the two things I do. I take minimal trades. I understand my trading plan as well. And I just don't have a rush. And the ability to do that has just allowed me to, like, not blow accounts. At this point now, I've got 2 funded accounts, 200k. I've failed one. I failed alpha in phase 1. And that's minimal. I've got 2 alphas now in phase 2. So if them 2 were to be passed, in a way, if you look at it like that, 5 funded accounts managed to pass 4 and fail 1. Like, that's not bad at all. And the withdrawals at that point, when you're getting payouts, they're in the thousands, and that pays for the accounts. So I am still down a little bit. I've got a lot of accounts on the go. I've just brought a 5ers account. But really, you have to go through a phase of reinvesting into the business before you can reap the rewards. And I've got nothing to really do at the minute. I don't want to be traveling, going crazy on spending money on stupid materialistic stuff. I'm here to just enjoy this. This is way more enjoyable than pumping money into other things that really don't give you that satisfaction. Satisfaction comes of being the best trader you can be and actually sticking to what you say you're going to do, and don't blow that, and don't drift and change the way you do things. I could have changed the strategy in the last 2 months. I didn't do it. And that's why you're seeing me do well. And I'm not doing the best. There's many traders doing better than me, of course, but I'm already focused on that. I'm focused on, can I just beat myself? Can I beat where I was this time last year? And if you told me I'd be 200k funded in April, like, I'd been struggling to believe it, to be honest. So yeah, very, very glad and grateful that I'm in this position, and I want to be able to show you guys that it's possible. That's probably the biggest thing. So that it is possible. I'm nothing special. And yes, I've been doing this for years, but it took me years to develop the right mindset and the right skills to be able to do all this. So it's by no means an easy fix. It takes time and it takes effort from yourself, day in, day out. That's the one thing, consistency. Keep on it every day. Watch the markets. If you're not trading the markets, watch the markets. Understand where price is moving. Understand the fundamentals. And just bring it all together. But yeah, we're back soon, guys. Hopefully get that FTMO first payout, and I can go through the processes of that. Looking at that 4-figure payout next. That's what I'm looking for. Starting to get more money in than the job. That's the next stage. So it's only going to get tougher from here, but I'm here for the challenge, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, guys. Take care.